So, here we go.
It was filled with childish frustrations and complexes which the police authorities for James Thomas believed to
Hello.
Hi.
You're listening to Midnight Movie Gang, a podcast where we talk about kind of genre film, cult film, as it were, stuff that's against the norm. This is a very special episode for a lot of reasons. One being this is the first time we have three people at once.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, my name is LC Hines. My pronouns are he, him.
I'm Courtney. My pronouns are they, them.
I'm Rome. My pronouns are they, them.
And today we're talking about Saltburn, a new A24 film directed by Emerald Fennell. I didn't know if it was Fennell or Fennell.
Is it Fennell?
It's Fennell. I specifically looked it up.
Fennel.
Yeah,
I just found out who it was.
I've been correcting people and saying Fennell, and it's had me fucked up. But so we're here to talk about Saltburn, and then just talk a little bit about some of the Oscar noms. We'll just talk about the best pictures real quick and what's stupid, what we haven't, what's not on there. So my first question to y'all, gang, is y'all want to talk about the first time? Actually, well, before we talk about anything, let's talk about what tea we're drinking.
Hell yeah.
We got 3 cups of tea. Yes.
It's all piping hot.
Yeah, so I have the tea bags, the case if you need these.
I don't need mine.
A little more info. I forgot mine. What tea are we drinking, folks?
I'm drinking Dynasty brand Chinese restaurant tea with some sugar.
I'm drinking Stash brand, which I've never had before, English breakfast tea, which is probably my favorite black tea, with cream and sugar, because you got to do it the way the Brits do it.
Nice. I'm drinking just some Bigelow brand decaffeinated green tea with no sugar, because I'm crazy. I don't like sugary hot drinks. That's a fucking lie. No. But
I was just going to say.
Hot chocolate's so good.
Cider.
Cider, yeah.
Ooh,
hot cider.
Hot cider.
With some donuts, with some powdery cider donuts.
Absolutely.
It's like a motherfucker. Yeah. So with this movie Saltburn, you guys want to tell me what was y'all? I know both of yours actually, but do you want to tell the people about your first time watching this movie and kind of what you first kind of took away from it, or what stood out to you the first time you watched it?
LC and I both watched this movie for the first time in theaters, and we loved it.
Yeah.
And there were some older white people in the theater that did not love it.
No, they were
but
quite mad.
I did.
Yeah.
I watched the movie for the first time with Court and LC, and it was a vibe. It was a nice little movie night in the living room. I was pretty gobsmacked the entire movie. Takeaway, I realized that I didn't know who Barry Keoghan was before the film, but now I am obsessed.
Now he's
Obsessed
everywhere.
with him.
So that was my takeaway, that I needed to find how to worm my way into Barry Keoghan's life.
Yeah.
So I could make him mine.
Absolutely.
It's crazy how much of a sex symbol he's just become overnight.
He is.
Overnight.
Yeah, almost a little more than Jacob Elordi, honestly.
Well, because Jacob Elordi's the obvious one.
Right.
You know, and I love an underdog, like unconventionally hot person.
Also, it's just the energy with which he carries himself, even at like on the red carpets and stuff, like the clips on TikTok and shit. Like, when he winks at bitches, I'd be like,
Oh my god.
"Who you winking at, daddy?"
The biggest daddy. Have you guys seen any other movies with him?
I don't think I have.
No, Saltburn was my first.
Yeah, we gotta watch. I think y'all will really like it. We gotta watch this movie, Killing of the Sacred Deer.
I've seen the trailer.
Yeah, a lot of people ever since Saltburn's been going big. Yeah, talk a little bit closer. Yeah, I can turn you up afterwards as well. Killing of the Sacred Deer is a movie I hear a lot of people talking about since Saltburn's been blowing up, and basically, he's kind of the villain of that movie, like straight up, even arguing within Saltburn, but like he's like straight up like the antagonist in that movie, and it's directed by the guy.
Antagonize me, Daddy.
It's directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, who directed Poor Things, which is a movie we're going to talk about soon.
Yeah.
I assume, and not have fun with. Another movie that's really popular right now. But yeah, no, he's great in that. Before then, anytime I saw him in anything, the only thing I knew him from is in Dunkirk. He's the only character with a name in the movie Dunkirk. His name is George, and he wants to go fight in World War II, but his dad is like, no, you're too much of a little boy. We're going to war, George. So whenever I see him, I just go, George.
I've never seen Dunkirk.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's Christopher Nolan, so
Right, so I never will.
Yeah, it's a Christopher Nolan war movie. Like probably the
Gross.
least like interested you'd be in it.
Every time a new war movie comes out and they like have the trailer in the theater, I'm like, this is great. Who's going to watch this? Like, who goes? Who's like, I want to have a bad time today?
Right.
Damn.
You want to watch soldiers die of dysentery? All right.
Do you want to watch horrific war crimes? Okay.
When Dunkirk came out, I was working at the movie theater, and we got a lot of complaints from people about the noise of that movie. Because like the sound mix is like it.
Christopher Nolan always has shitty sound mixes.
Absolutely. Like we had to turn it down like 3 times quieter than we got it in like the first weekend. And I remember there was an old man who came out of it in the middle of the movie like pissed, and he just looks at me and goes, "Dunkirk fucking sucks." I was like, yeah, no, the movie was fun in the theater, but outside of that, anyway. So with Saltburn, do one of y'all or both of y'all perhaps want to try to, if somebody asked you what is Saltburn about, and you had to tell them, which full spoilers for Saltburn, it's been out for a few weeks now. Go fucking watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. What would you tell people it's about?
It's a queer, stalkery, revenge, eat the rich story.
I like to gaslight people, so I would be like, it's this really cute movie about this like kid who just like tries to make some friends, and it doesn't always go his way, but it's like really heartfelt, a lot of great lessons, and
Heartfelt.
you should definitely check it out.
It's the new Richie Rich film. It's a family picture.
It
Family
is a family
picture.
affair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. Yeah. So yeah. So we got it playing on the projector in the background over there, but basically it follows this student named Oliver. He's a student at Oxford.
Yes.
It's like 2003, I think, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, there's not any iPhones in there.
Yeah, there's no iPhones.
Hardly any cell phones.
Yeah, they're like little flip phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Oliver is a student at Oxford, and from the beginning, we're kind of like, told through the story that he's the poor kid, at Oxford, and he doesn't have any friends, and he becomes very quickly and very, like, I would be too, infatuated with Felix.
Yes.
Played with Jake Elordi, who's just a giant tree of a man. Who's like a really popular, super rich kid at Oxford. Mm-hmm. And at this point in the movie, what do we think of the characters of Oliver at this point? Like, what do you think? Where do you think it was going to go?
I mean, at that point when he's just like meeting everybody and like getting used to Oxford, I felt bad for him, because I like know what it's like to be at a college and being a poor person at a college, and like everyone else has like rich parents, and that has to be even more like magnified at Oxford, where it's like mostly legacy kids and shit. Like all these kids have estates, and so I was feeling for him, and also I was like, absolutely, how would you not be obsessed with Felix? He's hot as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even help it.
Yeah, kind of same vibe. I felt like I definitely felt a little bad for him, but I also was immediately sus off bat.
Something's wrong with this kid.
Yeah, just off bat, I was like, he seems like he's got other motives, and I didn't know where it was going, but I also got the feel that he was lying about a lot of stuff very early. And I don't know what it was, but it's just the vibe of him. But he was convincing me though. I still felt bad.
Mm-hmm. This kind of goes into how all three of us have very different opinions on where we think Oliver's kind of turn, you could call it, was. Like when he kind of decided to like, I'm gonna take Saltburn, which
Right.
that's how the movie ends. Spoilers. Yeah. So you think that from the jump at the beginning of the movie, it was already his master plan, Rome?
Yeah, I think that from the jump of the movie that he was already planning to infiltrate Saltburn and either like own Saltburn, but maybe not, he didn't have the whole plan, like what actually happens. But I think that he had the concept. He knew what his main goal was.
Like he was gonna use them.
Yeah, and he was just gonna play it by ear how it came. So I think that was from the first day at Oxford, honestly, and knowing his character a little bit better now, having seen it, all the way through and multiple times, I feel like he could have had prep work that started even before the movie starts. Like I feel like it goes deep.
I always felt like, because partway through the movie we realized that he has been plotting somewhat for the demise of. He's been plotting for the demise of members of Felix's family, including Felix. And we go back at a certain point in the movie and see how he like poked a tack through Felix's tire so that it would do that, and he would need him in that moment, and like he would be able to like get on Felix's radar, and like how he lied at the bar and stuff, pretending he didn't have the money, and then all of the lies he made up about his family when he talked to Felix. Like, I think that all of that was a ploy, but I didn't think that was a ploy at that point to like take the family's stuff and like the family's money or whatever. I felt like it was more a ploy, like I'm seeing this person, I'm obsessed with them. It's like a ploy to get close to them. Yeah. And then I feel like after he felt rejected over and over by Felix, like I felt like at the party was when he like fully decided, like I'm just gonna fucking take this whole family.
At his birthday party, like towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that at the beginning, as far as like putting the tack in the tire, I think he was just trying to fuck Felix for the most part. Up until the party, yeah, pretty much like what you said.
Yeah.
Where like it was at that moment when he, at the birthday party, when he was they were all singing happy birthday to him and they didn't know his name.
Yeah.
That was the point where it's like, okay, fuck all these fuckers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See, and another reason I think it goes all the way back to the beginning is because in the first scene when they show him just looking for a seat, they paint the picture that the seat in front of, what is the kid's name?
Which
that weird kid.
The weird kid,
yeah.
Who wanted maths? Who's good at maths?
Yeah, who later on they're like he was Felix's thing last summer.
Yeah,
it's like kind of
I don't
implied.
remember his name.
They paint the picture like it's the only place he has to sit.
Yeah,
but I feel like it was he picked to sit there as well, because even if he was like Felix's fling last summer, normal human person's gonna glance at someone they spent a summer with, right?
True.
So he's putting himself in Felix's view immediately.
I think it's Michael. Yeah, this dude this leather jacket ain't doing nothing for him. We're looking at his picture on Wikipedia. He still looks like a fucking lizard kid.
Oh my god.
Looks like a member of King Giz.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the eye patch kid from House of the Dragon.
Oh yeah, he is.
What's the character's name? That makes sense. He's a creepy fucker in that too.
Yeah, I mean he just looks like a creepy.
He's
fucker.
born to play that role.
Right.
Yeah,
creepy fucker. Get it tatted on his forehead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael is his name in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. I think it goes that deep at least, because we didn't show us the whole cafeteria. Show me every seat.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is true, and it would be kind of a crazy coincidence to end up right in front of him and like befriend him a little bit. And plus, like, we didn't see all of their interactions. Like, obviously they're friendly enough because they go out to the bar together and stuff, so like we don't see all of their interaction, and maybe Oliver got more information about Felix from him. Yeah. To like work with.
Kind of like scoped him out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I felt Michael was such a weird guy, but I felt so bad for him when Oliver leaves him at the bar and fucking goes over to Felix's table and like says he wasn't here with anyone, and then Michael leaves the bar. Yeah. I felt so awful.
Hot take. That's the worst thing Oliver. That's the meanest thing Oliver.
That is the meanest thing.
Absolutely,
he did.
Genuinely. I feel like that kind of ties into the whole thing of like my litmus. One of the many litmus tests I have with this movie with people now is that if you're not like, you don't necessarily have to be on Oliver's side, like think he's a good person, but if you are like actively against Oliver and like don't think he's justified's not the right word. If you don't get it, if you're not like if you're someone who's like, I don't see how anybody could come to that. If all of Oliver's action in this movie don't make you go, yeah, I get it, then I can't roll with you. You know,
right? Because like obviously anyone would be obsessed with Felix, first of all, but then also all of his hijinks. Yeah, take the rich people's shit. Take their take everything. Eat the fucking rich. No ethical billionaires. Like, take
also
Saltburn.
just like. They're so fucking stupid.
They're so stupid.
Like if they're gonna bring you into their home, and they're gonna act like that,
right?
You know, but you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Right.
Yeah, it's really funny, just like the way that the family, mostly like the parents, for me, for the most part, the way that they are just so immature. Yeah. Because like they have nothing.
They have nothing to worry about.
They have nothing to worry about. They have nothing really to define themselves on. And it goes to like, I mean, we're going to talk about it eventually, but the whole vampire thing in this movie is that like they are like their whole thing is that like they are literally taking the life and kind of like the energy of like these poor people basically,
right, as
like,
entertainment.
Yeah, like that's what poor dear Pamela is at the beginning. The mom's friend that she had is the whole time she's like literally it's the same lines that Felix says to Oliver when Oliver is first talking about his drug addicted mom. Yeah. And he's like, oh, that sounds awful. Was it awful? Like Felix's mom does the exact same thing with Dear Pamela. It's like, was it awful? Right. So like literally the same kind of like
they're like feeding on the tea.
Give me your tea.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're like, my life is so uneventful. Please tell me about the trials and tribulations of yours.
Yeah, they're tea vampires.
Right, and then as soon as they get bored of them, like when the mom gets bored of Pamela's stories and starts to not care about it anymore, she's like, get out of my house.
Yeah. As soon as you're not entertainment, you're disposable.
Right.
A little flat, yes. She died. People do anything for attention.
That is so fucking funny to me.
I forgot she said that shit.
That line was crazy. I want to talk about the cum tub.
Okay.
That's what I want to talk about.
All right, we're skipping a little bit, but please go ahead. Yes, let's skip to the cum tub.
I want to talk about the cum tub. Because you were talking about your litmus tests for this movie. One of my litmus tests is I automatically don't trust someone who says like, oh my god, Saltburn, like that movie was so graphic, like so it was so shocking, because and they always mean the cum tub and the fucking of the grave and the fucking. But I just want to talk about the cum tub because that is like the thing that most people are obsessed with right now.
It's the memes.
I have never seen like the people that I know who watch like the goriest, awfulest horror movies, unfazed by that shit. But then a man licks another man's cum off the bottom of a tub, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's so graphic." That has me fucked up because why does that bother you so much?
I literally had someone describe it as gory.
Right.
Like they were like,
right.
Before I had seen it, they were like, it's practically a horror film. Like it's really gory.
So crazy.
And the whole time I was watching it, I was like,
when's the gore happening?
When's the gore?
Really no
right.
Like this Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Like there's no gore here.
The quote unquote goriest scene in this movie is it happens off screen, but when what's the sister's name again?
Valencia.
I was about to say Fantasia.
Oh my god.
Fantasia.
When the sister Venetia. When she cuts her wrists, but you see it happens off screen.
Right.
That's like the most quote unquote violent bloody
and that's
thing.
not what they're talking about. They're literally talking about the cum tub.
Yeah, and that's like a 3-second clip of her in the bathtub.
Right. The goriest scene for me was the scene with the mirror and all the vomit on it.
Yeah.
That lingered way too long. But that's because I'm weird about vomit. But anyway, I think that's such a litmus test for me right now of people like if you're overly like explaining how gross or graphic specifically the cum tub scene is, like I just know you're homophobic. Like it just has to be homophobia.
Yeah.
It can't be anything else. Because first of all, who wouldn't for Jacob Elordi? Number one. Who wouldn't? And number two, the grossest thing about that scene for me is just the proximity of his mouth to the drain, because drains are gross.
Yeah. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
That is the nastiest part.
Right.
Like there's like hair and shit.
Right. Like that freaks me out a little.
Like if there would have been more water in the tub and he would have like scooped up a handful, I would have been like, this is He's sane. He's not even crazy.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
Like,
that's
this
just
is a plausible thing to do.
Right.
that's just the obvious thing to do. Did
The-
you? Sorry,
Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, the worst thing about it for me, besides the proximity of his mouth to the drain itself, is the fact that Felix doesn't know about it. So that also, like, technically makes it, like, it made it creepy.
Yeah.
Because, like, you shouldn't be doing that shit if they don't know that you're doing it. But, like, yeah.
Apparently, there was a scene. One thing. So, we never really see any direct sign that Felix has, like, specific romantic interest in Oliver. I mean, like, they hint at it for sure, but
I think the fact that he was masturbating in the tub with an unlocked door that he definitely could have locked is indication enough.
okay.
Like,
I agree.
because why didn't he just masturbate in his room?
Yeah.
True.
Also,
He wasn't being quiet.
he's just flirty the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not solely the way he carries himself with everybody either. Like, in other social situations, he doesn't treat people the way he treats Oliver. And while some of that is definitely that he's fascinated with this, like, quote unquote poor person, like, there's definitely sexual tension the entire time.
100%.
Especially when they're like in his room and he's chilling in his boxers.
Oh, and he's like on the floor.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they're like
that's the-
smoking, and Oliver's dressed.
Yeah.
Like I don't know about a lot of like cis men relationships, but I feel like they're not just like chilling like that.
Homies
No.
don't do that.
Homies aren't doing that, right?
There's also a lot of physical touching, which for cis men means a lot, is the other part of it. Because, like, cis women and queer people, like gender non-conforming people, tend to, like, be a little bit more touchy sometimes. But cis men, like masculine cis men, don't do that shit.
Men.
Yeah, that could also be a cultural thing with, like, this not being in America.
I don't
know.
think the Brits are all right with it. Have you heard them on what's that show we watch? Rome.
Oh.
It's not Love Island. Is it
No,
Love
yeah,
Island?
Love Island. That's
yeah,
what it's called.
and
Love
they're
Island.
like them fucking birds.
Your bird's proper fine.
I don't know.
Like, that's how they talk, just like American dudes.
They do.
True. Yeah.
They
but-
objectify the shit on that show. It's great.
birds.
yeah. I guess it's just like I've heard that, like, out in Europe, like it's
Well,
a
yeah,
lot-
Europe, but not England.
Okay, it's separation. The only reason I brought up them flirting or Felix having interest is because there is a deleted scene of apparently there was a scene where Oliver and Felix like kiss, like
Emerald, send me that scene right now.
If we don't get that scene on,
Can I
like,
have
a,
that scene?
on like a Blu-ray
yeah,
release,
I'm
Please.
waiting for it.
I want that
please,
scene.
Give me
Oh.
the director's
Yeah,
cut.
they cut it out of the movie, and I just basically I want
Put it back in.
I don't know if you think
That's
that
what
would
she
make
said.
if you'd make it. Do you think it would make the movie better or worse or like less hot in any way if there was like a direct kissing scene between them like that?
Emerald, put it back in.
I think that it would make the movie better.
Right.
At least 200% increase, easily right off the bat. Because I
Right.
feel like it doesn't need an explanation. Like,
Yeah,
I just, it
this,
would.
yeah. No, this was one of my favorite movies of 2023, and adding that would boost it up. You know.
Boost it up.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the character of Farley and in particular
Oh, that fucking
that
bastard.
fucker, yeah, and particularly his introduction. So Farley is Felix's cousin. They're first cousins, right?
Yes.
Is the thing, and basically he's a student at Oxford. He lives in America, and the first scene that he gets introduced, it's kind of just like a great little microcosm of the theme of the movie, where like Oliver and Farley have the same like advisor,
Yes.
and Oliver and Farley and the advisor are all having a meeting talking about like their school, and Oliver's like, yeah, I read all the books. I did all the assignments. I did all the shit. Like he's like so academically prepared, and
The
the
advisor makes fun of him for it.
exactly. He's like, what the fuck? Like you read all that shit.
Yeah.
And then when Farley comes in, he hasn't done any of it, but the advisor's like, oh, I knew your mother back in school. It's like, oh, did you really? And like he's just so much more interested in talking to Farley because he's already got the rich people connections.
Right. It's that legacy shit.
Yeah, and like you can see how frustrated Oliver is, but yeah, from the jump, I just hate how much of a punk ass Farley is. I don't know.
Yeah, he gives that spoiled rich kid energy right off bat, and I think it's even crazier, like learning who his character is. because I can't help but think, like, how was he before he came to Oxford? Because he's an ass, right? But, like, is he an ass by necessity because, like, that's how everyone around him is? Or did he come in like that? And I can't tell because his backstory is kind of complex and it kind of hints to living at a lower level at other points.
Yeah.
But he doesn't act like that. He doesn't act like the person who came into richness. He acts like a spoiled rich kid.
Right.
Yeah, no, like he is faking because like the whole thing
Right.
is like his mom moved to America and then she kind of burnt through all of her money with presumably Farley's father. They kind of like mentioned in the movie, and Farley and his mom in America kind of live like it's insinuated they live kind of just like a normal middle class just life, and Farley's mom is being supported by Felix's dad in this movie, Sir James. And like you see Farley
She's living in squalor.
She's living in squalor. She can barely pay her bills. And Farley kind of literally has to go and beg for money, kind of. And
Right.
it really is just like he is also like he's above Oliver in terms of like at least he does have a
Only
familial.
in the familial connection.
exactly.
But then when when that's starting to not matter as much to the Cattons, he's like even angrier.
Yeah, he's being pushed out. And he starts to
Yeah.
retaliate and strike back, and it's
Which, like, I can't blame him because, like, it sucks. Like, as much as I hate his character and I think he's an ass, it also makes sense because, like, he's not a poor person. So he can't, like, hang with the poor kids and be, like, you know, talking about adversity on all of this shit. But then he also doesn't fit in with the rich kids. Like, he literally fits in with no one.
Yeah.
I think that's coming at it from. That's probably another reason why they decided to make Farley biracial.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that for sure, because there were elements of like, how do I put it? It's like I grew up, is Oliver taking his pants off?
Yeah, they're naked
Yeah,
in
sorry.
the field.
There's an important scene, folks. Like I said, I have the movie playing in the background.
And
Yeah.
Farley says, good for you.
And good for you. Yep, Oliver just took his pants off, and we don't see the dick yet. We see the dick later. Barry
Thank God.
Keoghan's real dick later, but they're in the field, and everyone's like,
Also, the way that Jacob Elordi just took that sucker out of his mouth, like, look at him. There,
Right.
you can't tell me he's not giving hints.
if you want to check it out, Saltburn is available on Amazon Prime. Yep. The sexy. Oh, I think we're going to see his butt. Yeah, there's his butt.
He's got a
the
great
tan
butt.
lines go crazy.
He's a great ass. That's true.
The tan lines go crazy.
Yeah, what are we talking about? Fart.
Oh yeah, Farley.
Yeah, Farley,
Being biracial.
Farley.
Fart being American.
Yeah.
But there's definitely
Why they cast him?
yeah, but there's definitely a thing where it's like I feel like I've seen a lot of that kind of energy with so when I went to a private elementary school, and there were these two brothers. I basically grew up in Saltburn.
Yeah, you went to Oxford Elementary.
Oxford.
Oxford Elementary is crazy.
But
Do you know who my mother is?
yeah. But there are these two brothers that I knew, who I'm not going to name, but they're these black brothers that they both got adopted by this rich white family, and who went.
Good for them.
Yeah, and I don't know their behavior. And love to see it.
Love to see it is crazy.
Like,
bro.
I just mean, like, if they inherit all that wealth, you know, that's great. Like,
Good for them.
Crazy.
generational wealth is so hard to come by.
They had they have a white sibling though, who's like I believe the biological. kid.
Womp womp.
Right.
They're not even in the fucking will.
They need to have a plan to take them out.
Wait,
Fuck.
did they have the white sibling after they adopted them?
Was the white sibling
The white
younger?
sibling was older than all of them.
Okay.
Oh.
Bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
But anyway, I was just gonna say like a lot of the behavior and attitude that I see in Farley, I remember seeing a lot in these two. Is all
Absolutely.
I was gonna say in terms of like I don't know, like an entitlement, but also a sense of like I'm not really a part of this, quote unquote. You know,
Yeah, that
like
makes sense.
I stand outside of this thing.
It's like, yeah, I'm rich, but I'm also black first.
Right.
Yeah, people
Right.
are gonna see me as black before they see me as rich.
It's like
Yeah.
when it's like when the director of Black Panther, Ryan What's his last name?
Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, when he like went to the bank.
Oh yeah.
And then they didn't believe he was him.
That was
Do you remember
wild.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
like
remember
that
footage
where it's
came
like
out.
like people see him as black first, like they don't believe.
He literally gave the clerk a piece of paper with the money he wanted written
Yeah.
down, and they thought he was fucking robbing the bank.
Yeah.
Like, my man is Ryan Coogler.
Right.
Like, robbing the... He can own the bank.
Right. Also, he just did that to be discreet. That's a normal thing to do.
Right, because who's going to walk up to a teller in a
I
public
need
bank? Can you give me
$10,000.
$10 million
Right.
today, please? Like,
Fucking ridiculous.
trying to get robbed on the way out. He didn't have any security with him.
Right.
Oh.
But yeah, it's like that where you're gonna see like people are seen by their skin color first, so it makes sense to feel inadequate in that sense. I just had a realization about Farley. You know how his name is spelled?
Farley.
It's spelled Farley, like Leigh. Oh
my God.
Which I feel like is such a white mom thing.
Michaeli L.A.
Farley Stott. 1 second, the iPad. I should have charged my iPad.
I feel like that
Haley.
has to be significant that they like made his name like so annoying.
Farley.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, when we were watching the movie in theaters, like when we didn't have subtitles, I just
Yeah.
assumed it was like Chris Farley,
Right, I thought it was spelled like barley.
the normal way. What else has this actor been in? Archie... I can't pronounce the last name. Madekwe?
Oh, he's in
Archie.
C, and he was in Midsummer.
Oh, Midsommar. I
Midsommar.
don't remember seeing him in Midsommar.
Go up,
Wait, was
little.
that it? He was in Gran
Go up a little.
Turismo?
He was in... I think he was the Gran Turismo kid.
Oh, wait, and on that
Simon.
Netflix movie. Is that a Netflix movie, or is it just on Netflix?
Which Netflix movie? Gran
movie?
Turismo?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was a Netflix movie. I think it's just...
No,
It's
because they
just
got a
on there now.
theatrical release.
It,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it definitely
okay.
did. Who is he in Midsummer? Simon?
Simon?
Yeah, I think he's the main character.
Who's Simon?
Yeah. Who the fuck is Simon?
I don't know.
He's listed here. Palais, Josh,
He's listed
Will
after.
Poulter.
Will Poulter.
Will
Let me see
Poulter.
that man's eyebrows.
The eyebrows.
Oh,
His eyebrows look less severe now. This is a bit... He got some eyebrow surgery, let me tell
he
you.
must
Eyebrow
have.
surgery.
Yeah.
He got his brows like fixed.
Yeah, no, he
Look how much closer to his eyeballs they are.
1 second. We got to find a better photo. This man, I did not think that this man would look so good with facial hair, but I got to try to find one of him with the... Oh, wait, no, shit.
Will Poulter face.
Will Poulter face. This is great for this audio medium that people can hear me looking up pictures of Will Poulter. Yeah, see, look, his eyebrows look normal here. They look,
Yeah, he like grew into them.
yeah, no, it looks totally normal. Well, it's because I think they got rid of the craziness afterwards. You know, the arc.
The Ark.
Yeah.
Noah's Ark.
So anyway, Oliver. You know, another scene that early on in the movie that I think is a really important one for me when Oliver tries to clean up Felix's room, and Felix like gets frustrated, like I can do it myself, and he tries to like shoo him away, like, you know what, I gotta study, and then we'll meet up later. And at that point, oh, here's a question for y'all.
Yeah.
When Oliver sleeps with the girl that Felix was dating at the time, I forget her name, like when, you know, and she's like,
After he leaves the bar and he goes back and she's in the hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that Oliver only slept with her to try to like get to Felix somehow?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah, there's no other motive.
Okay.
I don't think that
She wasn't even that cute.
no, she wasn't. But also, there's no evidence of this, but I genuinely do not believe that Oliver is anything but a gay man.
You don't think he's
I
attracted
don't think
to women
he's
at all?
bisexual. I don't think he's attracted to women at all. I literally think everything he does with women in this movie is a way to get to Felix or be where Felix has been. Because in that moment after the bar, when he leaves the bar, he feels really dejected and like far from Felix. And I mean, like, he then goes in the hole that he's been in, you know?
You know, you had me with you, but then I remembered when he eats Venetia out.
I still think
And
that
they-
was just...
He did it too confidently. There's no way that was like one of the first times he's done it. It was too smooth. He was too prepared.
Well,
I mean, he could still be a gay man who's had practice.
yeah, he's definitely
women.
used sex as
You're
a weapon
right.
before.
You're right.
Yeah. Because that's the thing is, like, has he manipulated people before? And I feel like the answer must be yes.
Yeah.
Because he's really good at
He's
it.
really good at it. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
He's been doing it since he was a kid, for sure. Oh, here we go.
Oh wait, here's the scene.
Here he
Oh,
is.
fuck
In
yeah.
fact,
Lucky
of
for
him.
you, I'm a vampire.
Yeah, lucky. No, another hint at
Oh
the
my god.
vampireness. While we're talking about this movie and we're seeing this shot of some of the architecture, do we have any thoughts on the Saltburn house itself?
It's so fucking hideous.
Oh,
I love it.
I was gonna say I love it. I love it, but I hate it at the same time because it like represents everything that like is wrong with the rich. Like the fact that they have all the rooms that it's just like, oh, this one's the blue room, and
Right.
all we could put in it was blue furniture because like what else the fuck were we gonna decorate? Well, we ran out of fucking themes. Like,
Right.
but at the same time, I'm like, I want so many rooms in my house
Yes.
that I have a blue room.
So much empty space. I think the thing that's crazy to me about it is just how like it's so clear that they don't care about the space. Like they like the people that live there, the family like love having the wealth and love what it represents, but they don't do anything. Like it comes down to it. Like I love that whenever they watch the TV, they're watching on this like shitty little
Yeah, they're crowded
CRT
around a little TV.
TV.
Tiny.
Which there were flat screens back then. They weren't great, but they can they can afford
Right.
getting something bigger. Like I feel like in like I don't know, they just behave kind of so normal. Like they're like sunbathing out by the pond. They're drinking on the tennis courts. Like they're not. It's kind of weird how like they're utilizing this space and like using this extremely lavish home in such like a mundane
Well, I think
kinda
that's
way.
them
Yeah, like, it's just
cosplaying
nothing.
being rich. I mean, being
poor.
poor.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's the equivalent of like I don't know, rich people that like just shop at Goodwill because they want to look poor.
Oh my god,
Or, like,
yeah.
Goodwill resellers.
It also it's giving the amount of privilege to be like, I grew up in this house. It's nothing special.
Right.
Like,
Not treating it as special.
right? There's no reason to be like, oh, look at my home. Look at these nice things I have because like this is bare minimum. Like
Right.
this is Saltburn is like the summer home. Like,
Right.
It's not even like this is our main.
Right.
It's like it's a side piece.
Side piece. Yeah, I love the grounds of Saltburn, like the pond and the maze.
The
so
maze
cool.
is pretty sick. Chekhov's maze.
But as far as like Saltburn itself, it's so big and looming and dark, and it's also just very. You keep pulling that cord.
Yeah, no. Oh, did it fuck up your ears again?
Yeah.
Sorry, let me fix it. Let me attempt to fix it. Is that better?
Yeah, it is.
Cool.
But Saltburn is just so big and looming and dark, and there's no open spaces in it because it's just like connected room to room. It's so fucking ugly in that way, like because we used to just build buildings like that where it's just all closed off.
Yeah, like the path to Oliver's room through Felix's room and the bathroom is like,
Weird,
why would you make a room like that?
right? Just make a big hallway.
Yeah. Do you guys know that initial tour that you've probably seen this, but the initial tour that Felix gives Oliver in the house of like when they walk through, like Grandma fingered my cousin here,
Yeah.
that is the same path in reverse as the dance scene at the end. It's the exact same path.
Didn't notice that.
Yeah, no.
I love that.
Yeah, it's full circle moment,
Yeah, because he's like claiming all of it.
It's a big old bookend.
Because it's the only time we get a tour. And it's like Felix showing him the whole place, and now it's his whole place, and now he's like in it naked.
In it naked.
In it naked.
Yeah,
It's my house. I can be naked if I want.
exactly. Yeah, so coming towards the end of the movie, we talked about the cum tub. What are the two? We briefly touched on this scene that's happening right now with her. That's another scene that people say is gross, and I'm like, bro, you've never gotten your Red Wings before?
Right.
People thinking that it's gross, like, ew, blood.
I think the grossest part is that Farley is watching.
Yeah.
That he's videotaping them. Oh, and I love this shot for people listening. Like, you see his red mouth below the water.
And then he smiles.
Yeah, and he's smiling with his mouth covered in the blood.
This scene right here where, because he had just told her in the garden that she needs to stop being anorexic because she has she has anorexia. And this scene right here, the next day when they're at breakfast and he's like pushing food towards her and she's like eating the food is so fucking funny to me because it's like, if it were that easy to cure eating disorders, the world would be fine. Like that's so fucking funny.
Barry Gilgan, come on.
It gives that meme of like, come on, babe, do it for me. Like it's just so embarrassing.
100%. Do we have a favorite or perhaps a least favorite character that we love to hate in this movie? Like, what are some standout characters for y'all?
I mean, you go first.
No, I was gonna say the dad,
Sir James.
Sir James. He for me, he's like this embodiment of like I don't even know how to put it into words because you know, I feel like across most cultures that are patriarchies, the dad is like the person that like has their shit together and like they're leading the family, right? Air quotes. This is what they're supposed to do, at least, you know. They don't do it well, you know, but he especially doesn't do it well. And the way that they are with everything, and every little hiccup, and like he just never seems to have it together, and almost in a way that is so immature that it's like it's irritating, because even the mom, like, she doesn't have good intentions, right? None of them do, but she is composed, at least.
Yeah.
Like, she has the intelligence to be composed, and the dad is just like
He's just a bumbling idiot.
yeah, literally, yeah.
He never stopped being like a rich little 5-year-old boy. Like,
Right.
at the party, he's like, I can wear my armor.
Yeah. And then the only way he knows how to make a problem go away is by throwing money at it. And like
Right.
we see him do that with Oliver, and it's like, okay, like, did you fix your family's problem?
Right.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. No.
I think that makes sense with with his character, because, like, I'm assuming, so Saltburn is obviously his family's, technically.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's Sir James's, like, birthright or whatever. I'm also assuming that, like, Lady Elsbeth is, I'm assuming that was like an arranged marriage between families type deal with them. And I feel like in that situation, even in royalty, women have to be a certain way and therefore end up more mature than their partners, because the men, like, get their partner presented to them.
Absolutely.
Like, men, like, the person in, like, the king role, or like that patriarch role, doesn't have to do anything in royalty because everything's set up for them, including their wife. Meanwhile, like, she had to be, like, taught how to present herself a certain way, and, like, there was a lot of pressure on her to make the marriage happen, which then makes it so I feel like she has to be at least a little more responsible comparatively to other rich people.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's the man, so he's going to be respected, but you're the woman, so you have to make people respect you.
Right, and you also have to, like, have talent or something that makes you desirable, versus he's never had to worry about being desirable because he just automatically is because of his birthright. But
Like Jay-Z said it best, because there's no such thing as an ugly billionaire.
Absolutely, yeah. My favorite character my favorite love to hate character is Lady Elsbeth, because, like, she's just so fucking funny.
She's so funny.
Like, I love that scene when Oliver's, like, when they're talking about Pamela outside, and Oliver's like, if her stories were true, and then Lady Elspeth is like, oh, yeah, I noticed that too. Like, and she acts like she saw it all along. Like, I just love how easily manipulated she is, and how she's like, oh, like, the way he's so easily able to make her think it's her idea is so funny.
I think that comes back to even what you just said, though, like, needing to be respected and having to appear some way, and she is talking to a man, even though he's of lower status. So, like, if he knows it, she has to know it,
Right?
especially because he's of lower status,
Right?
Like, she can't let him
Have
give
a
her
one-up on her.
information.
Right.
She has to have already known it, and just
Right.
oh, I wouldn't have pointed it out, but since you did, let's talk about it.
Right? Yeah.
Do you think that when Oliver was hitting on her in that moment, like, you're just so fucking beautiful,
Oh my god.
do you think that, they never explicitly tell us, do you think that she had a thing for Oliver in that moment? Like, from that point?
Absolutely.
Like a sexual thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that she would for anyone who complimented her enough, to be honest.
I agree. Anyone who made her feel,
Yeah.
period, like anything,
Right, because she's so bored
Yeah.
all the time.
Also, that's how deep I think it goes with his plotting too, because I think that, you know, obviously he wants everyone in the family to be on his side, because that's just going to set him up for the best outcome. But he really goes the extra miles with her in that scene specifically, and things haven't unraveled yet. But it shows just how much sense he has to plan that far ahead, to plan like, okay, like, Felix Felix kind of stalled out. We went for Venetia. Venetia's where we've got her now. Excuse me.
We got her under control.
Yeah, and then like now we're gonna get Mom, and we're gonna have Mom, so that no matter what relationship falls apart, there's another one to fall back on.
That's a really good point, because it seems like Oliver knows that like Lady Elspeth is gonna be the last one. Like he knows that she's gonna be like
She's gonna
the
survive.
difference between, even beyond like outliving Sir James, but like he knows that she's the real difference between him getting what he wants and not.
Yeah. He sees that Sir James is just the figurehead.
Right.
He knows that Elspeth is stupid
Right,
as well.
absolutely.
But he's like, she's the smartest. Like
Yeah.
she's my obstacle.
Right,
Makes
and if
sense.
she likes you, Sir James can't do much about it.
Yeah, what is he gonna do? And
Pay him
that's
off.
exactly what happens at the end of the movie. Yeah, like she wants him to stay
Yeah.
as like a surrogate to her 2 dead children, and Sir James is like, you need to leave, and he's like, I just don't think I can.
Sorry, I can't leave her like this.
And then even after Sir James dies, like she's so fucking happy to see Oliver in that cafe, which is also contrived. Like he meant to be there, and
Yeah.
but like the way she's so excited to see him and immediately invites him back to Saltburn is crazy. And I feel like that he won the second he had that conversation with her about Pamela and calling her beautiful and saying like, I know you're smart enough to notice all of this. And like that was the moment that he got Saltburn, even though it took a while after to pan out.
Yeah. Separate from this, but Lady Elspeth is also probably like my favorite. Like
Yeah.
she's just so goddamn funny. Like I love there's a part where she's talking about like how she dated like one of the members of Oasis or something, and there's a song like, there's no way that song was written about me. Like the girl wants to know everything. I've never wanted to know anything. Or just like, actually, I think one of my favorites was like, I was lesbian once,
Yeah.
But in the end, men are just so wonderfully dry or something like that.
Yeah.
Just
That's so funny.
It was a little too wet in the end. Men are so wonderfully dry. She's just so funny. As far as like characters that are really, upon second viewing, I appreciate a lot more. I appreciated Venetia a lot more.
Yeah.
The second time watching this, or I guess third time really, because she kind of sees through Oliver's kind of guys the most. Like she's genuinely the smartest and is like kind of exists the most separately from the rest of her family.
Yeah.
Like she kind of is like a little bit above it. Oh wait, that's another thing. Do y'all think Felix and Venetia were fucking?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he so easily admits on the tour that he fingered his cousin. First
His
cousin.
first cousin.
Not
yeah.
even like I didn't know she was my cousin. Like, first cousin.
And like in the field scene, like
They're all naked.
she's sitting away from Farley and Felix, but yeah, they're all naked, and like we're not 6 or like younger. We're not in the bathtub like little ass kids. Like,
Right.
We're adults. We're in college.
Right.
Like, and you're seeing your sister naked, just casually, just laying in the like. We do this all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
This field has rules that you can't have clothes on. Like
Right.
we've done this.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other scenes too that like kind of get to when Felix is talking to Oliver after Oliver kind of lies and be like, oh, she tried to kiss me, whatever. Felix talks about like, yeah, no, I had my friend last summer, things got weird with Venetia, and like there was like a lot of jealousy, like not just like, oh, why'd you fuck my sister, bro, but really like, well, she was mine before you know, like
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
energy.
Like if you're fucking her, she's not gonna have time for me.
Yeah. Sorry, is your ears fucked up again? Okay.
Also, with Venetia, I think that they show her like sitting on Felix's lap, and
In a very like weird position.
Yeah.
yeah, like a very romantic position.
And they kind of sneak off together
Yeah.
afterwards.
And they show her grieving his loss in his tub, which is like, of all the places to grieve your brother's loss, like even if she would have crawled into his bed,
That would have made way more sense
I would
to
have been
me.
like, yeah, you want to be close to him, but his tub,
That's
Right.
like extra level.
The place where he
into
is always naked.
yeah,
the
one place where he's
he's come.
guaranteed to be naked.
Right.
What if there's a deleted scene where she drinks the
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, she probably has.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I that's a good point about I hadn't thought about that. Like the fact that she's in the tub and like that. You're absolutely right that's like way more intimate and weird. Cuz yeah, I would understand wanting to be in his room or like being with his stuff, because like that's like also she immediately recognizes when Oliver is was using Felix's
his
cologne.
aftershave.
Aftershave, yeah. Like, how do you know the scent so well?
And knows what his underwear looks like too.
Yeah.
Knows that it's his underwear. Yeah.
Very weird, especially because the family doesn't do their own laundry.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like I feel like if you live in the same house and like laundry is shared, then that makes sense that you might know what that looks like. But like that's not their situation because they're so damn rich.
Also, all of Felix's like underwear that they show us throughout the movie is very much so like it just looks like some fucking Hanes Fruit of the Loom,
Right, it
shit.
looks
Like it's very
basic.
basic. Like anybody could have those. Like
How are you
they're
intimately
just plaid
aware?
boxers,
Right.
And you're like, are those Felix's?
She knows that he likes the cheap shit, you know?
Also, she's very aware that like before Oliver like contrives her to kill herself, when she talks to him when she's in the tub, she's like, you ate him up, like you stole him from me. And it's very like it's more than just I'm grieving my brother. It's like you took him.
The line about when we were talking about the not doing your own laundry, that reminds me, how much do you think the Duncan and the butlers and the staff knew about what was going on? Like, how much do you think they were kind of in on everything?
Oh, in on everything? Like, you mean with Oliver?
Yeah, like how much do you think they knew about Oliver's plot and like where?
I think Duncan was hip from the beginning. I also think, like, in all situations, in real life and films, the people who work in the rich people's house, they know all.
Absolutely.
They know all the tea. They know more than the other family members half
Right.
the fucking time. Like, they're always lingering. And I would be too.
Right.
Like, please,
You gotta get
I
that
gotta,
tea.
Yeah. You're barely paying me. I have to have something for myself.
Exactly.
Also, we see it especially after Felix's death in the like dining room scene when Duncan is getting emotional. Like, Duncan has been working with the family for who knows how long. Like, he is intimately familiar with all of the aspects of the family and like genuinely seems to care about them, as you would if you're like a live-in worker with these people. And I just feel like there's no way that he didn't feel some kind of protectiveness towards them when any outsider comes in, but especially like I'm sure that Duncan could like see right through all of Oliver's stories of like pretending to be poor, because he's seen a lot of actually poor people probably come through, like Pamela, that like I just feel like he was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, I saw about the egg scene when he comes to breakfast and he doesn't know that you get it yourself and everything. He does so much preparation in this movie that I refuse to believe that wasn't a ploy. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way he fucked up breakfast of all things. Like, he's prepared enough to do so many things, but he didn't realize that, like, rich people eat their breakfast this way. And then he also orders his eggs. Does he order over easy, sunny side up?
Yeah, I think that's what he says.
Something
Sunny side up,
sunny
I
side
think.
up, I think.
Yeah.
And then when
Fried. Wait. Does he do it fried? No. He asked for it like sunny side up.
I think
or
he says
something.
fried sunny side up. First of all, he orders them wrong.
Yeah.
And then not after he orders them wrong, what he asks for is delivered to him, and then he's like, I don't want this. And I think that the exchange between him and Duncan in that scene is kind of him testing the waters to be like, do you really see through it, or can I fool you a little bit? And I think it's kind of preparing Duncan. Like, he's trying to, like, prime him, like, get used to my bullshit. I'm
Right.
going to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like he's seeing if he could get a reaction from Duncan.
Yeah, it's like a test.
100%. With the kind of end of this movie, so we get Oliver's kind of reveal. He's had like a commentary throughout the whole movie he's talking to somebody about Felix and like everything that's happening, and then it's revealed that Lady Elsbeth is sick, but presumably he's been poisoning her, right?
Yeah, or like had pushed her down the stairs or something to put her in a coma or some shit, you know?
Yeah, I think it is poison because he says that she fell ill so quickly.
Yeah.
So she got sick, not injured.
Yeah, he did something like that, and
Yeah,
then
something.
got her to sign over the estate to him.
Yeah.
And then we get the now parodied across TikTok and time and space the murder on the dance floor scene. That song has been everywhere. You can't avoid it.
I love it. It's in so many of my playlists right now.
Yeah. Do you think that was a fun scene to film?
Absolutely. He said it was fun.
He said it was fun after the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Because they shot it like 10 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will never get out of my head the scene where he pulls the trach tube out of Lady Elspeth.
It's so unsettling.
Yeah.
That's, if anyone wants to talk about gory, that's the goriest part of the
part.
film.
Because
Yeah.
every time we watch this movie, I feel like I can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being pulled out. Yeah.
Especially with how long it is. Oh my god.
Oh my. And it's like extra long. Like, I don't know.
I don't think it's right.
I don't think it's correct.
No.
Yeah. It's
but
very,
like, the
it's
idea
inaccurate. Yeah.
is horrible.
It's in her freaking intestines.
Yeah.
And he ends up in the parlor with the rocks on top. And you said, so wait, you remember we were talking about this, but like he got the rocks, one of the rocks he got like earlier, or
Yeah, he got Felix's rock the day Felix died, because then when the next day when the next time they show them at the bridge, they show him going to get Venetia's rock, and Felix's rock is not there.
Yeah.
And they show the rock. They show a specific piece of wood, and I
Yeah.
think a piece of glass or something, like a glass bottle that's in the river, when Felix's rock lands, and then Venetia's rock lands in the same place, and when he goes to grab that one, and they show him doing that, Felix's isn't there either.
Right.
So he like took it immediately, which is also just so crazy.
So weird. It's such a weird thing to do.
To me, it's like spiteful.
Yeah.
It's like you can't have your final rest. Like,
That's-
this is
yeah.
what your
Yeah.
family does, and fuck you.
Right, because it's like the one thing that like the family does that is like actually a sympathetic thing that like I could relate to, like, oh, like this is like a ritual you guys do when you're grieving. Like it was like one of the only things that the whole family does that like makes them seem human.
yeah.
And like makes them seem like they actually have feelings. And he's like, nope, actually, fuck you.
Nope, you don't
Yeah.
deserve it. You don't deserve to be human.
And he fucks Felix's grave.
And he
Oh, yeah.
fucks Felix's
Which was
grave.
an improvised scene. Which
Yeah.
does that make it worse or better?
Better.
Better. So much better.
So much better.
I just kept thinking about like, man, he's gonna have all that dirt in his dick.
Dirt in his
Dirt in
dick?
his
In the dick.
Oh.
Imagine if he wasn't circumcised.
Oh.
Oh, then he'd get dirt all up in the foreskin.
Just dirty foreskin.
oh,
I'd still fuck.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
With the dirt.
Jealous of the ground.
With the dirt.
With the
Jealous
dirt.
of
on.
With
the
the dirt.
ground.
Like right after he fucks the ground, he's like, okay, you next, and I'm ready.
You next is crazy.
You don't have to wash off.
Just wear a tombstone. Just wear a tombstone as a
Right, what do you... I can lay really still like a mound, and then you can put a tombstone like on my head. That's fine.
That's fine. Absolutely.
Whatever you need, baby.
So we've pretty much gone through the whole movie. I guess before I ask, so there's a final. So we're the movie's going on. Oliver's smoking, thinking about Felix.
I mean, yeah.
Which who wouldn't, you know? Which, Rome, just to put it in your head right now, we do this thing with all the movies we watch, where we decide. I stole it from another podcast. We decide what prop we would want to keep from the movie. So like any
It can't be anything living.
Yeah,
Like,
it can't
it can't be
Barry
Felix.
Logan.
So-
Right.
yeah, something,
Sad face.
an object that you could walk off the set with, or I don't know, like bring it in, put it in your car or something is what. So start thinking about that. But before we get to that question, is there anything else about the movie? Any standout moments you want to talk about, or any plot points or characters that you kind of want to put your final thoughts on?
I feel so awful for for Oliver's parents. Oliver's mom
Oh,
seems
yeah.
like she's trying so hard, and when
Yeah.
the dad says like, no, you have to stay, like your mom made all this food, like your mom made a cake or something or whatever,
Yeah.
and the mom's just like, no, it's fine, like you can
She
tell
made
that
spag bowl.
yeah, but you can tell that he's done this before and disappointed them before.
Yeah.
Where like the mom has like put a bunch of effort, and the dad's like, "Come on, like your mom has done all this," and the mom is just being like so quiet and being like, "It's okay, like he can do whatever he wants," and it just like that just made my heart break for them.
Absolutely. It kind of made my heart break until I started thinking about it, because she talks in that scene about how he could never make any friends, and so he's certifiable, period.
Absolutely.
And so I think that goes deep to his childhood, and so he was either like born like that, or he went through some sort of trauma.
That's true.
And regardless, they didn't help him.
Yeah.
And it's early 2000s, so but also they appear to be upper middle class.
Yeah.
Like, how did you didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's still continuing to happen. You enabled it in his youth, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, that does make sense. It makes me really want to know, like, what if this started in his teenage years, or if he was a weird little kid, like actually a weird little kid.
Yeah, no, I feel like he was like a Dahmer little kid, like outside in the yard, like cutting up squirrels and
Oh
yeah,
my
100%.
God.
No, he was 100% like always weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Also, the way that Felix is so pissed at him and is like, "We're staying."
Yeah.
Love.
understandably pissed. Like
Yeah.
really just had the whole world destroyed.
But I also feel like he's more pissed that that the stories aren't true. Like, he's more disappointed that those like traumatic things didn't happen than he is upset. Like, oh, my friend lied to me. Like, it doesn't seem like he's upset.
Yeah.
Like if I had said to you, like, actually I lied about something really important I told you about me, like, you'd be upset because you felt betrayed.
Right.
But he
Yeah.
seems upset because he's like, oh, like, this isn't what I thought it was.
You're
Yeah.
so much
I
less
didn't get to
interesting
save
now.
my little poor boy this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So Oliver's meeting we're meeting the parents that seem rad in the movie. So what prop would you take from this movie? Would you want on your shelf?
Do you have one yet?
No, come back to me. I gotta think about it.
I've got two in my head.
Oh.
I can't decide on.
I got mine.
Okay, I either want Oliver's slutty little chain.
Slutty little
Because he has a little slutty little chain. I remember in the
He
scene
does.
where he
He
gives Venetia his like shirt or sweater or
Mhm.
whatever, and you see the chain, and I was like, ooh. Or their little CRT TV.
That's
So
cute.
they watch. I don't know why the TV sticks out to me so much. Probably the TV. I get more use out of it.
I want Felix's eyebrow ring.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
that's a good pick.
Damn.
It doesn't have to be small. Also, him and I picked small items.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a small item.
You could take,
it could
like-
be like an item that's hard to move
You
or
can take
whatever.
like Felix's car or something.
Right.
You cannot have the Saltburn estate.
I'm probably taking the tub.
The
First,
whole tub.
the whole
Full
tub.
Of the
of the cum
Full?
water.
I mean, if the cum water's still available, then yeah, but it's not.
Yeah, but like if it was,
Yeah.
would you take it with or without?
with?
Absolutely.
Why would I let it go? Unless it's like if only if like they actually made Jacob Elordi come in the water.
Yeah.
Does that make it worse? If it's prop cum,
If
I
it's
don't
someone
want
else's
Prop
cum.
cum.
Right.
Or someone
Like,
else's. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
want it.
If
or
it-
somebody else's.
if
I
it
don't
was
want
a-
any donor cum.
Donor
like, Jacob
cum.
Elordi's only.
If it was
please.
like
Or Barry Keoghan's.
if it was
Right.
like Domino's like sweet icing.
Oh my god, no. I'm leaving that there. But yeah, it's like a clawfoot tub. Like, it's nice.
It is a nice tub, and Jacob Elordi's
and-
ass has been on it.
In it.
All over it.
All over it.
Indeed.
And
And
presumably Oliver's.
Right.
And Venetia's.
Which she's not. I don't find her that attractive in the movie, but the actress that plays
She's hot,
her is
yeah.
attractive. Yeah. She looks so different. I just saw a TikTok the other day where Farley and her were. Excuse me. Farley and her were talking about how they've been out in public together, and people will walk up and be like, "Oh my God, Farley," and then
not recognize her?
recognize her because she looks so different.
That's
And
crazy.
Yeah,
they'll be like,
she-
"Yeah," and Venetia.
She doesn't
She
look
does.
she doesn't look a fucking thing like her character at all.
At all.
A lot of it's the hair and the eyeshadow.
And also, like, Venetia is just kind of a mess the whole time. Like, she looks like she's a mess the whole time.
yeah.
But this, like, the actual woman looks like normal and put together.
That
Yeah,
was so
and
over.
because of her eating disorder in the movie too, they paint her or they do her makeup to make her face look very flat and
Yeah.
very thin.
She's
Oh
very
my God.
And in
gaunt.
real life, she has very full features. So she really looks like a whole different person. I wouldn't recognize her on the
Me
street.
neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's the magic of movies.
The magic of movies.
The magic. Yeah, and now for the rest of this, we're going to be thirsting over Saltburn. Yeah, let's see. There isn't really much to talk about with the Oscars, honestly, as far as like that element of it goes. Just what
they're
the
shit. They're always shit.
yeah.
Yeah, just hope something exciting
I'm
happens.
so excited for it. Yeah, no, I want a
I
major
want-
upset.
Lily Gladstone, we're getting you that Oscar.
She's definitely gonna win.
She's got to win.
100% for Killers of the Flower Moon. Which, by the way, we have a Killers of the Flower Moon review up if you want to hear that. Yeah, no. So thank you so much for listening. This has been our review of Saltburn. It's been a fun triple feat. We'll definitely come back with this squad again, talking about
Absolutely.
another movie for sure. We'll see what in the future. Yeah, have a nice night, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
So, here we go. With childish frustrations and complexes which the police are searching for James Thomas, believed to be the lover of Miss Williams, and her partner in the horrible murder of Walter. Where's everybody that I'm here to hold on? Oh, please tell me where they're going. Please tell me. Sorry, I don't know. How hopeless that I got in here. 3 tickets to Albany on 6 o'clock train tonight. What do you mean, Special agent, special agent.